So I wanted to make this video while this topic is on the top of my mind, and it's this idea that no one should squat below 90 degrees. When you play field and court sports, whether it's volleyball, baseball, football, basketball, tennis, etc., the demands of the sport are going to require you to have access to a deep squat, deep knee bending, deep hip flexion, where again your pelvis is below your knees. You're going to have access to that, and you want to try to train in those positions so you can be strong in those positions on the field or on the court. The other thing that we know through research is that long muscle length strength training, so like deep squats, RDLs, getting your arm fully overhead. I'm just using that as an example for upper body. Elicits the most powerful stimulus when it comes to building strength and building muscle tissue. And we know that being strong and having probably relatively more muscle mass is going to contribute to being more resilient and probably having less pain and less injuries over the course of your athletic career. So you probably need to be exposing yourself to deep squats, whether that be bilateral squats, unilateral squats, lunges, split squats, things like that. You should probably be exposing yourself to those positions in training so you are strong in those positions. Does that mean in every single scenario that we need to squat below 90 degrees? No. If someone has knee pain, if someone has issues getting into a deep squatted position past 90 degrees, we will gradually grade their exposure to deeper ranges of motion. And I have some adult personal training clients that have a history of knee problems, potentially knee replacements or even knees that need to be replaced. And they do get pain with deeper squatting. So we will do box squats. And the other side of the equation for using box squats is just to reduce fatigue. Like if I have an athlete that is going to have a competition within 48 to 72 hours of our training session, we're probably not going to do super deep squats. We may do some sort of deep range of motion exercise on single leg, or it can even be bilateral too, just to grease the groove of the movement from a health perspective. But we're not going to load it super heavy because really heavy, deep loaded exercises, whether that's squats or hinges, lunges, things of that nature, are generally fatiguing and will reduce performance in the short term. But to say that no one should squat below 90 degrees, in my opinion, is completely asinine. And not only is it asinine and leading to more of a fragility mindset where oh my gosh, if I squat below 90 degrees, I'm going to somehow injure myself. Of course you can injure yourself. You can injure yourself doing a lot of things, and if you load things too heavily, too quickly, regardless, you could injure yourself. What matters is meeting people where they're at and making sure that I am doing my job and exposing them to appropriate stressors and stressors that they're going to experience in their sports, and also making sure their tissues are prepared and are strong for the forces that they're going to experience in their sport. And if I'm not exposing these athletes to the ranges of motion that they're going to experience in their sport, and I am not training them in deep ranges of motion and long muscle lengths, then I'm quite literally not doing my job as a strength and conditioning professional. And if I am not, the other side of that is if I am not meeting people where they're at, and if they do have knee pain and I'm forcing them to go below 90 degrees or go below a certain threshold that they can access with little to no pain, then I'm also not doing my job. But making sweeping statements like no one should ever squat below 90 degrees is absolutely absurd, and it's just wrong.